Noon treat performed by Jurjen Van De Velde in the opening match
25
Players
Keegan's
Championship 10 here on PDC TV, an average north of 113 against a very strong opponent in Mike De Decker, who himself played some decent stuff. The odd double missed here and there for him, but he was powerless to 59. Do anything to prevent Barney prevailing in that one, and he will face the winner of this one in the second round. Back on their previously allocated board, it is Jurjen Van De Velde, the young Dutch darter, against former world youth champion Keegan Brown.
And whoever comes through this one,
96.
as Chris mentioned, he's got a sizable task. Jurjen Van De Velde waits. Keegan Brown, who had a decent-ish day yesterday, last 32 victories over Devin Peterson, seems to be playing him every week at the minute. Then Martin Lukeman eventually lost to Martin Schindler. And for Van De Velde, it ended at the first hurdle, a last leg shootout with John O'Shea.
120.
Former JDC world champion back in 2018, also won a
180.
plethora of youth titles in the WDF system as well. Winner 2 on the Challenge Tour and Development Tour. And the former World Masters Boys winner, so certainly a player with plenty of potential.
He's showing it here, potential 11-dart opening leg, and he just had a little pause, but he'll have to go the 12 ball route because Keegan on a 1-2-9 and misses the ball for the opening leg. So outside chance here for Keegan. He hits the 57. I was going to say he may look at a couple of double 18s, but not going to go, and Van De Velde with more opportunities 52. To win this opening leg.
Double 8 the choice for JVDV.
Game shot.
I think I'll give that one a miss in future, actually, but he didn't miss the double.
At least give it a miss when you're commentating with me. I don't want to hear that again. But it is.
I thought it was a done thing for these Dutch players. How good was RVB, by the way, in that previous match?
140.
Well, KB needs to work his way into the match. Had his throw broken in the opening leg here.
100.
We'll just bring you up to date with some of the results around the arena. Don't worry, I'll give them the full names rather than just initials this time. But good start for Stephen Bunting, a 6-2 win against Louis Williams.
85.
Martin Lukeman, a seeded player, dumped out, though. He's been beaten by Brian Roman by the same score. And as has Kim Hybrex and Simon Whitlock, seeded players falling early in this event. 6-3.
57.
Boris Kritschmar against Hybrex, and Van Veen has beaten Whitlock by the same scoreline.
Yeah. Whitlock lost first round yesterday, so his push for the world match play.
180.
The dent this weekend. Jurjen Van De Velde has found another 180. Got one in the opening leg, gets one here.
140.
So this for a 11 darter. Double 18.
88.
Don't mind that at all. Could have got a little bit messy, couldn't it, had he gone for the double 9 with Brown not on a finish. Backed himself to come back and hit.
180.
Yeah, and Brown asked the question, Jurjen Van De Velde. He teed it up. Now he's got to take it out. Wow, he can't get much closer. In the corner.
Game shot.
And a couple of 15-dart legs sees Van De Velde move into a 2-leg lead.
We won't be seeing another run from Gary Anderson today. He's been knocked out in the first round by another young Dutch talent, Owen Roelofs, getting the better of Anderson. 6-4. And Steve Beaton also, well, beaten. Bronze Adonis knocked out by Robert Owen of Wales, 6-3. We've also seen Madas Razmar and Roby John Rodriguez lose, so plenty of seeds falling. A reminder that these are the seeds from position 17 to 32, not the top 16 seeds, but a quick count.
59.
With most of them having completed their matches. 8 have lost. That's half 41. Of the number of seeds that could have lost in the first batch of games.
Yeah, so mixed day, early doors for the bottom half of the seeds.
57.
Vincent Van der Voort has raced into a 3-leg lead. He needs to pick up some wins. Hasn't really got going at all this year. Vincent, he started well against Nick Kenny.
96.
Keegan Brown, he won a Pro Tour the back end of last year, which you'd think, yes, he's going to be in the mix of the match play. Well, he lost his tour card in the process. He lost his tour card after the World Championship, and he needed to win his game against Hempel, and he didn't. So unfortunately, under the ruling, he had to reset back to 0 with his prize money, because otherwise, Chris, he'd be well in the mix of the world match play now, wouldn't he?
Yeah, absolutely. That second tour title coming a fair few years after his first, 7 years between them for Keegan Brown. Many thought he'd be a player that really did kick on. He was a player that seemingly had 93. The world at the end of his fingertips when he had that World Youth final victory. Went on to do big things at the Grand Slam of Darts later that year. The curve never really continued, did it, in that upward trajectory?
No, his debut at the Grand Slam, he got through his group, beat Jurjen Van De Velde, and he lost a thriller to Dave Chisnell that, like Chris said, never gone on to reach the heights we thought he may.
56.
Still got lots of time, Keegan Brown, and so capable.
He's just given Van De Velde a chance here, but that chance has disappeared as quickly as it arrived. I'm not certain that he was going for a 6 with his last dart.
83.
Then. Keegan Brown, I'm assuming it was 10
Game
meant
shot.
to leave him on double 16, but in the end he does find the double 18, and all's well that ends well.
Yeah, and what Mike De Decker couldn't do in the first round, I'm saying that, Jurjen Van De Velde was explosive, but just restricting it to one breaker throw early in the
58.
match to give you something to work with. Keegan does that, halves the deficit here.
It's a good dart for him, right in the centre of the treble 20. His darts do kick up a little bit,
139.
but not as exaggerated as some players.
That was see the release wasn't right there.
He's looking around a little bit there as well. I'm just going to keep a beady eye on this, because when he hit the big 3 going for the 1-2-3, he did the same.
44.
He sort of half glanced over his shoulder, but didn't make a big deal out of it.
Brown early in the leg has nicked the darts, even more so now. Jurjen Van De Velde, who used 30 darts to get himself 2 legs in front, he's got to regroup here.
140. $128.
Good stuff from Brown. Gets himself down to a finish as he bids to break, but that's a good start for Van De Velde.
133.
Done well, Van De Velde here, because he made a poor start in his first 6 darts, but a couple of big 2 treble visits has left him 126, but he's may not get a go. Big shot for Keegan Brown. Just clips the wire, and he just stares it down. Still a bit to do here for Van De Velde, but he can stay on the same target with his first couple of darts.
Yeah, Brown got the 2 trebles he needed. Van De Velde only needs 1, and he's got it for a throw at the ball.
101.
So Brown gets another opportunity to level up here. Over to double 8. Oh, that's not close to double 16.
24.
Edgy darts from Keegan Brown. You see him rightfully shaking his head. He won't be happy with. It's never nice missing 3 at a double when you're sort of a little bit erratic with him, as Keegan was there. Opportunity missed, and Van De Velde can restore the 2-leg cushion, and does. 3-1, he leads now. He's done well in that leg, because it was a poor start from Van De Velde.
Yeah, possibly not just frustration at how he threw the darts and where they landed, but the moment in the match, effectively,
45.
have gained control of this tie, wouldn't he? Be throwing at 2-2. Instead, finds himself 3-1 behind.
Van De Velde,
121.
who's been in a final of a development tour this year, lost the impressive Luke Littler. And there we see 1 from 6 from Keegan Brown, but all the damage was done in that previous leg.
Ryan Meikle beaten by Bradley Brooks, so he's the 9th seed to lose in the opening round.
85.
First batch of seeded players have all played now, and 9 of the 16 were beaten.
Yesterday's finalist. Campaigns
40.
just started. He's in a bit of early bother though. Chris Landman. Well, he's 3-0 down to Neil Zonneveld. So work to do already.
Well, maybe Richard Veenstra will have a run today and Landman will have to hang
89.
around waiting for him, because that's exactly what happened with the roles reversed yesterday, wasn't it?
Must be good friends. Whenever I used to lose, I was out of here. Generally
139.
around about now towards the end.
Give over, Mark. We used to start an hour earlier.
Yeah.
96.
Veenstra, Chris Landman travelled together, practiced together, and credit to Richard supporting him. It was a good run from Chris Landman.
40.
Poor setup from Keegan. Big chance now for Van De Velde.
It hasn't been a sparkling performance by Van De Velde, but very efficient, and he's given many
54.
opportunities by Brown. Another one now, because he can't go out.
And I
44.
don't think Keegan Brown has dusted himself down very well from that previous leg. It's things like that can play on your mind, and it seems to have done here. And Van De Velde has read the situation really well, and he gets a double break. He's putting himself in a commanding position. Remember, lost in the opening round yesterday in a deciding leg, Van De Velde. 4-1, couple of breaks to throw. Great chance to pick up some all-important prize money. And there we see, pretty modest average, but he's doing enough at the minute.
Yeah, you mentioned that point, Mark, about the misses, the 4 darts missed at double. Maybe Brown's still suffering a bit of a hangover from those, but 1-3-4 attempt was actually really good, wasn't it? 2 in the treble 17, the dart at the double 16 right on the wire. It was a 3 clear that followed that were
81.
really ropey.
Yeah, well, when you've got one in hand, when you've got one dart at double, you just go for it, don't you? Keegan Brown was, I won't say defensive, but he was really aggressive with the 3 in hand, and that is the difference in this match.
Yeah, we never know what's going through a player's mind, but I'm sure at times you think about
58.
moments in the match. Well, if I hit this, then I've got control, etc., and actually end up kind of driving yourself to distraction.
You can do
100.
it. Keegan Brown now will be fearing that this game's going to run away from him. We've just seen a one-sided affair, albeit it was very impressive from
96.
Raymond van Barneveld, beating Mike de Decker 6-1. It's not out the realms. We could see a repeat scoreline here, because Van De Velde should make it 5-1 from here. May look at 25, treble 19, treble 15, goes the aggressive route, and it's 24 after 12 darts, and it should be 5-1 in a couple of moments' time.
59.
So double 12 to achieve that scoreline. Double 6.
Game shot.
Just starting to wonder if he had ended up on double 3, where he might have just busted his score with Keegan Brown not on a finish, but we don't have to find out. He's only 1 away. In this second match on Stream 1, the third will feature
58.
the top seed in this tournament, Luke Humphreys, taking on Nathan Rafferty, before Jamie Hughes, absent yesterday, but returning to play Darryl Pilgrim,
60.
who is the last reserve in this tournament. And Hughes' arrival means that Dom Taylor has headed home.
57.
People wanted to watch Darryl Pilgrim in our last match on this board. Jamie Hughes, been a finalist this year. Questionable decision to miss an event yesterday.
140.
I suppose it depends what happens today, doesn't it? If he goes and wins a tournament, they'll put it all down to having the day off.
It's true.
Johnny Clayton will be in action on the other streaming board.
140.
Missed a trick yesterday, Johnny. Semi-final, a good result. Should have been better. Eventually lost to the champion Krzysztof Ratajski. And Keegan Brown is close to throwing in the towel here. Van De Velde has been good though since pinching that 5th leg.
It's just like one player's been in control of everything they're doing and the other one hasn't. A deflated expression on the face of Keegan Brown, who might be about to be knocked out.
Yeah, Van De Velde.
Game
That's
shot
an
and a
impressive
match.
performance from Jurjen Van De Velde. Keegan Brown will rue some key missed darts at doubles, but he's disappointed and despondent. But Jurjen Van De Velde, who exited at the first hurdle yesterday, well, that is a clinical display. 6 legs to 1 over Keegan Brown, who won a Pro Tour the back end of the year. Average crept up towards 95.5 in the end. Good finishing, and Jurjen Van De Velde sets up a clash with Raymond van Barneveld in round 2. He wins by 6 legs to 1.